Hey guys, welcome to part 11 of the Survival Series tutorials. Now I apologise for this taking a long while to get out. I've been a little bit ill for the past week or so it's been a little bit delayed, so I apologise about that, but hopefully again we'll get back on track. And I'll start maybe making some videos on C# and things like that for the future. Now today we're going to be focusing on cooking items or moving items that would normally be in the inventory to another slot or something like that. So say we have fish and we want to make it cooked fish, we're going to need to take it to a fire and then do something on the fire. Now this is going to be a very basic way of doing it, but it's just going to add another layer of complexity to the game, and each of these elements sometimes don't always need a tutorial by itself, but to help everybody understand that you can add elements or layers to your script, like a cake say. You can do this very simply by just adding a few simple lines, which you follow my instructions, you'll learn to do it for a lot of different things. Now, okay, in our one of our other tutorials we looked at crafting, so we can build a campfire. Now for the sake of this tutorial, to speed it up, I've got a cube here. Now this cube is called campfire, and I'm going to actually have a tag that I'm going to make, and I'm going to call this campfire, and then click back on my object and go to the tag and make sure it's named as campfire. We'll make sure that the box collider is on our object because we want to be able to detect a collision with this, so when we do our raycast. Now, seeing as though we've got the campfire and this is going to act as the way that we're going to cook our item, what we're going to need to do is we're going to go on the main camera and we're going to open up Raycast Collect. So open that up in MonoDevelop, and in here we control all the things that we do with a raycast. So we pick up wood, we deal with coconuts, we look at picking up fish, and we look at dealing with the berry bush. Now for this one we're going to look at taking something from the inventory, so the fish that we may have collected, and cooking that up so we can use it elsewhere. So what we're going to do is, you can see that below the if statement here for the bush full, what we're going to do is below this second one we're actually just going to put a couple of line breaks in, and then we're going to say, like we did up here, hit dot collider dot game object dot tag is equal to now what we just made, which was campfire. Then we're going to add two curly brackets below there. Then we're going to say GUI fish is equal to true, and this is going to be a GUI we're going to make in a moment. Then we're going to say that if input dot get key down, open brackets in quotes E, or whatever you want to use, close that up. Then we can say and player dot get component, open brackets inventory, close that up, dot fish is greater than or equal to 1, close that up. And then what we'll do is we'll add two curly brackets below there. So I'll explain this so far. So if we hit a collider with the game, or with the tag called campfire, it's going to show a GUI, and it's going to show GUI fish. So that's going to be something that pops up in the screen for when we've highlighted something that is campfire, and only when it's a campfire tag will we ever show that. Now in the if statement here, so if for 1 we've got this and it says yeah, we've hit the campfire, then if we press E and we're finding the component which is on our player, now up here we've got a player game object that we've already added, and what I'm going to do is add the variable, private variable GUI fish as type boolean equal to false for now. So we've got all that together up there. Now if we go back down, you'll notice that we're looking at the inventory. Dot fish is the variable which controls the fish. You can check that in the inventory script, and we're checking to see if it's greater than or equal to 1, because if not, we won't be able to do what we want to do, i.e. cook the food, because we don't want to be able to cook anything if we don't have anything in the inventory. So what we can do from here, if we've got enough and we press E, we can say player.getComponent, open brackets, inventory, close that up, Then we can say dot cooked fish plus plus with a semicolon. So that means that we'll add 1 to the cooked fish variable. Then we can do like we did here, or the bit above, get component, inventory, close that up, put a full stop. Then we can say fish minus minus, and that just takes 1 away from fish. And then the inventory script will control so it never be able, either or can never go above or below a certain amount of which you've set. Then what we'll do is I'll save that. I'll take GUI fish here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in the else, and then I'm going to set that to false. So that means that if we're not looking at Campfire, we're not going to want to show this GUI specifically. Now, what we can also do is in here in our GUI statement, we can copy that whole if statement and take that back a little bit, and we'll call this one GUI fish is equal to true. We'll leave everything the same as what we did, and then instead of having pickup, we can say cook fish. This can be changed, but this is just to show you, you know, the sort of simplicity of how you could possibly go about creating it all. Now, in your else statement, what we could have is we're going to need to put 2 curly brackets below, and we can say or show a GUI to indicate that we don't have enough fish. So if we press E and we've got enough fish, we'll do this. If we haven't, if we do anything else, we want to show that we've not got enough fish, so we can say debug.log not enough fish. This is just going to output in the log, but you can just add another GUI if you need to. So you could have one called fish empty, and you could have another if fish empty equals true here, and have it whatever you like. But for the sake of this, I'll just show you it working. So if I go to my first person controller, we look at the inventory, we've got 3 fish, and if I press play, we'll maximize on play this time. If I press I, you'll notice that there's fish in the inventory, and I go towards my campfire, we can cook the fish. If I can leave the inventory open at the same time, we can press E, and you can see that the normal fish moved to the cooked fish, and we can press it and it will change, and when we look away, we'll take that GUI away. So realistically, all it was a simple way to detect the game object with the tag of campfire. We can show a GUI if we want to. You can go more advanced if you need to, and then if we press E and we have enough fish, we'll convert the 2, and if not, we want to do something else to it. But all in all, very simple way, and you can do that with any of the items that we've got within our game. You could convert the water to boiled, say if this was water and then boiled water, we could boil it on the campfire and do any amount of things. It's just really dependent on what you're going to do for your game. So I'm just showing you that is a way that you can look at an object and convert 2 items really without doing too much to your code. So all in all, really simple way to do it. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.